If you're wondering why your best customers can't find you, you may need to make your business easier to find by speaking the language of the problem. A few months ago, I hurt my wrist. I strained the ligament on the outside of my wrist, and it was bad enough that I had to wear tape, and that ordinary tasks suddenly became difficult. Pretty soon after I had the injury, I had created a plate of food, and I was standing at the counter about to open a jar of salsa. Perfectly normal moment. I reached for the rubber pad I keep in the drawer. I had my plate ready. All it needed was a little salsa. And I realized I couldn't even start to twist the cap without wrenching pain in my wrist. So I ate it without the salsa, and afterwards I did what most people do when they're frustrated. I searched for the problem in the plainest words possible. I didn't search for a brand or the name of a tool. I typed open jar with hurt wrist. And that search matters because your customers are doing a version of that same thing every day. They're not always searching for your service the way you describe it. They're searching from the middle of a problem. And if your business doesn't use the language of that moment, the people who need you most may never find you. So the listing I clicked was not necessarily the best product ever made, but it did reflect my exact situation back to me. It let me know that I could open jars without strength and without torquing my wrist. And that is what I needed to know. Now, like most consumers, I did dig a little deeper once I identified the type of tool, and I looked for reviews and materials and how it was priced relative to other versions of that same product. But it won my business because in that moment, I wasn't shopping like a product expert. I was shopping like a person who wanted salsa and could not open the jar. So that distinction matters for every business because your businesses, your customers, your prospects are not always looking for your category. They may not even understand how you solve their problem. They are in a situation looking for relief, and they are typing the words they have, not the ones you would use. It's where a lot of good businesses lose potential traffic and customers. They lead with facts, years of experience, certification, materials, process, tools, and all of that matters. It is important. But if those details show up before your customer feels understood, those details don't have the same impact as they can have. A person in the middle of a pain or a frustration, their first question isn't, how impressive are you? They're asking, do you understand what I need? Can you help me solve this situation? And will you do it without making my day harder? Once they have a yes to those questions, then they want to know how much experience you have, what your process is. But understanding has to come first. So think of your business sitting at the center of a network of roads. Every useful piece of content you create is another road in. A blog post is a road, a service page is a road, your Google business profile is a road, your social media posts are other ways in. But a road only works if it's labeled in the language your customer understands. So you can publish hundreds and thousands of pieces of content and you will probably get some traffic. But if they're all written in your language, the right person may just drive right past. Not because they don't need you, but because they do not recognize themselves and the solution to their problem in what you wrote. That matters because being good at what you do isn't enough if people can't find their way to you. Your marketing has to build roads from the customer's problem back to how you solve it. The best place to begin is the moment right before your customer starts looking. And there's probably a few key moments that drive prospects to search for your solution. So you want to think about, well, what happened? What happened in my customer's life before they not only knew they needed a solution, but were motivated enough to take action? What got annoying enough or painful or expensive or urgent enough that they decided to deal with it? And that moment is where your best marketing language lives. In the example of the jar opening tool, I wasn't searching ergonomic kitchen accessory. I was in a moment of not being able to get the taste I wanted on my dinner because I could not open the jar without wrenching pain in my wrist. So what is your customer's version of open jar with hurt wrist? Those are the roads. Those are the phrases that connect because they meet your prospects where their search happens. If you want your business to be easier to find, listen for 4 things. First, as you're talking to customers or prospects or looking online, what feels heavy? What feels heavy in their day? What is the frustrations they've been carrying for so long that they don't even realize they need a solution? You may hear it in sales calls, you may see it in reviews, you may just overhear it in people complaining. Use those words. Use the words they talk about when they share their frustration. Because when people see their language reflected, they feel understood faster. You build trust faster. Second, listen for what makes them hesitate. We're all afraid of choosing wrong, getting screwed, wasting money, or increasing hassle instead of reducing it. So when you overcome those objections, when you understand and overcome them in your copy, you help them feel safe. You reduce the risk that they're taking in moving forward with you. Third, listen for what motivated them to search. What was the pain? What was the fear? What was the desire? What motivated them to make that action? It might be a deadline, something got expensive, something became impossible to ignore. That tipping point matters because it tells you when your customer is most ready to act. Fourth, listen for the result they're hoping for. You know the solution you offer, but how do they actually think about the result that you are giving them? The emotional one. So for a bookkeeper, yes, they want cleaner books, but they also want their time back and they want to know that it's done right. Here's an example. Imagine you're a bookkeeper who serves small business owners. Your website might say certified bookkeeper with 12 years of experience, monthly packages available, free consultation. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's great. It's relevant. It's professional. It's honest. And it definitely belongs on your website. But it does not meet the business owner at their pain point. It does not speak to that business owner's frustration. Instead, if the copy started out saying, stop staring at a shoebox of receipts or a spreadsheet that won't reconcile, hand the whole thing to me, you will get back clean, current books at a flat monthly price. This is the same bookkeeper providing the same service, but now the message speaks directly to what that business owner is going through. It confirms that their frustration is solved here. And then underneath that, the credentials support that this is a safe place, that this is an expert who can take care of them. Right now, someone out there is typing their version of open jar with hurt wrist. They may not know your business exists. They may not even understand your service category or your product. They probably don't know the right terminology, but they do know the problem they are trying to solve. So your job is to build a road from that moment back to you. Use their words, name their frustration, address their hesitation, and speak to the moment that finally made them search. Show them the relief is here, you found it, because the easiest business to choose, the easiest product or service to choose is the one that makes people feel understood. If you know your business creates real value, but the right people are not finding you or recognizing themselves in your message, that is exactly what we at Grow Everbright can help with. We assist businesses in clarifying what makes them exceptional, and we turn that clarity into content that creates more roads back to what you sell. So if your strengths are clear in your head, but your message is not reaching the people who need it most, book a call. The link is below. We will look at where your current message is missing the customer's language, what your audience is searching for, and we'll build content that helps the right people find you faster.